Hey guys, welcome back. This is Made by Britsie, episode number 4. I'm Brittany, and this is my podcast about knitting, sewing, and all the crafty things. So far, I haven't shown any other crafty things besides knitting and sewing, but I know at some point other crafty things are going to come up, so I might as well mention it now. So you can find me on Instagram and Ravelry at Made by Britsie. And I'm coming to you from Austin, Texas, where I live with my husband, Dave, and our cat, Slayer. On that note, this is the last time that I will be podcasting from Austin because we have decided that we are moving back to Boston at the end of this month. So just like a week and a half. So the first thing I do when I get there is going to be to set up my new craft room so that I can record right away, but it probably will be a few weeks until I do record my next podcast. But basically the job situation for my husband did not work out down here like we had planned. He worked at MIT in Boston, and we kind of thought he might get something similar to that down here, but the Austin market is kind of saturated as far as what he does. We're moving back to Boston. He's going to get his job back at MIT, and we're excited, even though there's a ton of snow there right now. Hopefully it will all be melted by the time we get back, and we won't have to move in with, a couple of feet of snow on the ground. That's what's going on with me. So let's get on to the knitting. So for my first segment, I want to talk about my finished objects, and I have one on, as you can probably tell. This is the Tecna top by Caitlin Hunter. I showed this in my last podcast, and I wasn't very far, but it did come together really quickly after I finished the lace panel. I finished this a couple weeks ago, and I've been wearing it quite a bit since then. One thing I will point out, because you can probably tell, is I did not alternate skeins like I should have. I'm really bad about doing that, and usually it's not a problem, but this time it was. Still not a big deal because, as you can see in the back, so I knit the lace section and then in the round, and then you work the back before you do the front. And I guess I had knit that far before I had to use my second skein. So that's where I have the line starting right here. But my solution to that is that it really doesn't bother me, but I can wear it backwards, and you definitely can't see it in the back. And the neckline in the back is a little higher, but not so much that it bothers me. But I learned my lesson, and I'll just have to alternate skeins next time and be responsible. So I knit this on my Licka size 4 needles. And I used Madeline Tosh, the Tosh Molite in the Doe Eyes colorway. And it is 80% merino wool and 20% kid mohair. This is what I have left of the second skein. It's beautiful yarn. Even my husband complimented this color, which he normally doesn't notice things like that. I think this yarn is perfect for this pattern because obviously it's really subtle in color, and I think it lets the lace stand out and the details of the pattern stand out, which I love. But it's not boring. It definitely has some variation in tone. It's kind of like a very light gray, but with almost like a pinkish hue in some parts, and I just love it. I'm glad that I have a lot left over because this will definitely be going in something else. But I knit the extra small in this top, and I was expecting it to actually be a lot bigger than it was because the pattern does allow for, I think it says 5 to 10 inches of positive ease. So I really was expecting it to be a lot more blousy around the bust, but it's more fitted, and I'm actually really happy with that. I am going to knit a second one, and I'll probably either size up to the small or use maybe size 5 or 6 needle just to get a different effect. But I really like the fabric that this made. I think it's perfect, and perfect for a spring top. It's really lightweight, but it's still, we wore this out to, or I wore this out to South by Southwest one day last week, and it wasn't cold, but it was about, I think it was in the 70s. So in the shade, it was a little chilly. And this was perfect for keeping me warm, but not too warm. I didn't wear anything underneath except a bra top, and then I wore jeans, and this was perfect. I don't think I've ever knit anything with mohair, or at least something that sat this close to my skin. And before I blocked it, I thought it was going to be a little irritating. But after I blocked it, I mean, it was already soft, but I think it softened up even more, and it really doesn't bother me at all now. I think the yarn is beautiful, and I've got a couple more colors in the Tashmo Light, so I'm excited to use those. Yeah, so I know this is a pretty popular pattern right now, so if you've been on the fence about knitting it, I say go for it, because I feel like you'll definitely get a lot of wear out of it with spring here or right around the corner for some people. Yeah, like I said, it knit up quickly, and I think it's great. So for my next finished object, I have something a little unexpected, and I say that because this wasn't something I really planned to knit right now, or something that I showed in the last podcast. I had some other projects that I thought I would be done with, and ended up not knitting on those at all and picking up this instead. This is the Cardamom Coffee Hat by Caitlin Hunter. So this caught my eye because on many other podcasts, everyone's been working on color work and really cute hats, and it's been a while since I've done any color work. And I think it was probably at least 3 or 4 years ago when I last did color work, and the pattern that I attempted was way too advanced for my skill set at the time. So it did not work out. It was a pillow with a really intricate pattern. And yeah, so I really haven't been drawn to color work since, but I've been seeing so many beautiful patterns, and I know this winter I'm going to want a sweater and mittens, so I wanted to attempt something a little easier first. And I've seen other people knit this hat, and it was beautiful, so I thought I'd give it a shot. You can probably tell that it is way too small for my head. I knit the adult small, and I thought I had met gauge when I did a swatch, but I'm thinking, and maybe some of you colorwork experts can give me some advice on this. I thought my floats, which I'll show you, I thought my floats looked pretty good as far as being nice and neat. But maybe that's not what you want in color work. I'm thinking maybe I didn't leave enough slack for it to stretch, although it does seem stretchy to me. I don't know if that's so much the issue, but yeah, I'm not really sure. But this is way too small. I mean, I can get it on my head, but it's not a good look, and it's not comfortable. So I am gonna knit this again, probably, well, for sure in the adult large, and maybe even going up a needle size, because I honestly don't mind if it's too slouchy. I'd obviously prefer it to be slouchy over too tight. But I did use size 3 needles for this, and yeah, what else do I have to say? Oh, this is not blocked yet, and I had every intention of putting a pom-pom on top, but since this does not fit me and it's going to be a gift at some point in the future, I'm not in any hurry to finish it up. I was kind of bummed because it doesn't fit, so I just threw it to the side, but I do love the hat. I think the pattern is gorgeous. My ends are not woven in, so ignore that. I think the color work is gorgeous. I love the pattern. It was just enough color work to kind of help me gain a little confidence in doing color work, but it wasn't so much that I got burned out. It really knit up quickly, and which is what I wanted, just a quick knit. So let me go over the yarn really quick. I've got yarn balls rolling everywhere. So the first color is this beautiful dark or tonal green. This is Malabrigo, their sock yarn. It's 100% superwash merino, and it's in the Ivy colorway. And this has been in my stash for a while, and I've loved this yarn since the day I got it. And I've just been, I did have another project in mind. Actually, I started another project with this, which I'll show you in my whips. But I knew I would have plenty for my other projects, so I thought this would be nice as the darker color in the hat. Because the hat they show in the pattern was knit out of like a dark brown, a cream, and like a golden or mustard color, and I really liked how those colors went together, and I liked the contrast, the effect that the yarn had with the color work. So I wanted to do something similar but not the same, so that's why I chose this dark green. And let's see, show it to you one more time because it's just so pretty. It's super soft. So the next color I used is the same color I used for my Tecna. It's the Doe Eyes by Madeline Tosh. We've seen that. And the third color I used for the little bit of, the little pop of color is a yarn that I've showed plenty of times, and it's one of my favorites. It's the Madeline Tosh Twist Light in the liquid gold colorway. Just a beautiful tonal mustard color, and I love it. Yeah, so when I knit the second hat, I'll probably do similar colors. I'm definitely going to use this green again because I want it on my head. But I'll probably change up the other colors. Not really sure what yet, but it's going to be something slightly different just so I don't get bored with knitting the exact same thing over again. And in a way, this was kind of a happy accident because I'm not really much of a gift knitter, but now I'll be forced to give this away to either my nephew or someone with a tiny head. Yeah, and I'll just say that I knit it specifically for them, and they'll never know the difference. Yeah, so one more time, the Cardamom Coffee Hat by Caitlin Hunter. Beautiful pattern, just... if you're not used to knitting color work, maybe double check your gauge or knit a larger size. I don't know. Just don't do the same thing I did because it's not going to fit. So next up, I have my whips or works in progress. And I only have two to show you today. Mainly because, like I mentioned before, I had some other works in progress that I have not done any work on. Those have been kind of set aside. I'm not really in the mood to knit socks right now, and that's two of the projects that I have in the works, and I'm not really in the mood to knit shawls either. So I don't know, maybe because I watch a lot of podcasts and everyone has been knitting garments lately, it's like subconsciously that is taking over my mind too. I'm not upset about it though, because I am getting a lot of wear out of the garments that I'm knitting, and yeah, I can always knit socks later. So the first thing I have to show you is something I showed in the last podcast, and this is the Anya Dress by Susie Sparkles. It's a baby dress pattern or a little girl's dress pattern. I'm knitting this for my friend who is pregnant and she's due in May. Her baby shower is in April. I think it's about 3 weeks away. So I will be in Boston by then, but I'm hoping to have this done and mailed to her by then so she can open it at her shower. I don't have a whole lot done. Honestly, I've probably only done a few rows since I showed it the first time, but this is it. So this is the lace yoke. So it's got a little lace yoke, and then it goes into kind of a little full skirt just in stockinette with, I think, some eyelets at the bottom. But it'll have a little button band on the back. So my hesitation or my reluctance to work on this has come from the lace part. Every row is different, so it can't be memorized. And I don't know. I know once I get past the lace and get to the stockinette, it will go by super fast. But I just haven't been able to get myself to work on this. But now I have a deadline, so I'm going to finish this. And I'm knitting this on. I'm also a selfish knitter, so, which I don't think is a bad thing, but it does make it hard when I want to make things for someone else. I really do, but it's just hard to put down the things that I'm working on for myself, and I'm trying to get better about that, because I know my friend that I'm giving it to is really going to appreciate it. She's super crafty herself. She just really got into sewing, and I know she's going to appreciate this. So that really makes me want to get it done. So yeah, knitting this on my Licka size 4 interchangeable needles. These are pretty much the needles that I use for everything, unless I have the size that I need tied up on another project. Then I'll be forced to use some of the other needles that I have. But right now I'm really loving these. I think they're great needles, and they're beautiful. And I really love just the whole, like, when you're working on a beautiful project and you want beautiful needles, I just love that, like how it goes together. Obviously other needles are fine. I'm just being kind of picky, but I love these. I also love the yarn that I'm using. It's Farmer's Daughter Fibers. This is the tag, and it is their squish fingering 100% superwash merino, and the color is called One Stab, which is probably not appropriate for a baby garment, but I think it's pretty funny. And I love the color. It's this dusty rose or mauve, or I don't know, really pretty pink. And I think it's just beautiful. It's got really subtle speckling in here. You could see it better before I wound it into a ball, but it's definitely got some speckles, just enough to, give it a little bit of interest, but nothing too crazy. And she has a ton of baby clothes already that are, in the super bright pinks or hot pinks or really girly pinks. And while this is obviously still girly, it's just kind of toned down and subtle, which I really like. I'm really enjoying knitting with this. The yarn is super soft and squishy, and I think it'll be perfect for a baby garment. So I will definitely have more progress on this next time. I mean, I have to, because the next time I podcast, her baby shower will have happened, and I'm going to have this done. So for my next work in progress, I've started a second Mount Pleasant top. So in my episode 2, I'm wearing my first Mount Pleasant top, which is knit out of the liquid gold Madeline Tosh yarn. This is that Ivy Malabrigo yarn that I just showed you. Again, not a whole lot done. I'm on the second lace section, or second lace repeat, and you do 3 lace repeats, and then you knit stockinette in the round, and this really flies. The first one flew. Once you knit the lace part and you switch, so I'm knitting this on US size 4, again, the Licka needles. After the lace repeats, you switch to, I think, a size 5 or size 6 needle, and it just really goes quickly, and it's also cropped. So I've been wanting a top in this green yarn for a while, and I think this is the perfect pattern for it. I kind of cast this on a whim. I knew I wanted to do this, but I wasn't really planning on doing it right away, because I bought yarn to knit some other things. But the other projects that we're going to start were like actual sweater projects, and this is something that can be worn in the spring. So I decided to do this first. The sweaters can wait. So yeah, I literally, I think I started this last night. So not a lot done, but for the time that I've been working on it, it's a decent amount. Yeah, and I love the lace. The pattern's easy to memorize, and it just really flies. And I'm super, super excited to have this done. Can't wait till I can wear it. And again, this one should be done by the next time I podcast, because we're going to have a ton of knitting time with the move and the drive to Boston. And I'm taking a month off of work. Yay! I've never had that much time off of work, I don't think, since I started working when I was like 18. So yeah, obviously I'll be busy with unpacking and whatnot, but we will have some downtime. We don't get our pod delivered until April 7th. So we're going to stop and visit Dave's parents in Jersey, and we're going to stop in Nashville. So I'm going to have some time, like car knitting time, and just time hanging out with his family where I can knit. So I'll have stuff to show you next time for sure. So next up, I have stash enhancements. Yay! Okay, so the first thing I have to show you, like I've said in the past 2 episodes, this is the Harry Potter Yarn Club that ran from January to March from Molly from a Homespun House. This is the March yarn, so if you haven't received yours yet, then turn away if you don't want the surprise to be spoiled. But I feel like everyone has gotten their yarn. It's, almost the end of March. So yeah, without further ado, this is what's it called? Sirius's Gift, and this is her soft sock merino, fingering weight 75% superwash merino, 25% nylon. And I love this color, like I've loved the other 2 yarns that I've gotten from her. So it's a really subtle gray with just a bunch of different speckles. So you've got like a chartreuse in here. You've got pops of hot pink. You've got some black speckles, and I just really think they play well together. I mean, all of her yarn is beautiful. And this one is no exception. Not quite sure what I'm going to make out of it. I was kind of waiting to get this 3rd month in to see if it would go with the other 2 skeins that I got. And I don't think I'm going to use them in a project together. I think it'd be fine, but I don't think they're really meant to go together. And yeah, I think actually I might use this as the lighter colorway when I knit the next Cardamom coffee hat. So instead of doing like a plain like cream like I did in the first one, this will give it a little bit of interest. So as far as yarn, that's all I have for you today. Because we are moving and I'm trying to pack things up, I'm trying to kind of de-stash, not really yarn because I don't have a huge stash, and I de-stashed when we moved here 7 months ago. But I'm trying not to get any more, obviously the less I have to move and pack, the better. I did do a pretty big fabric de-stash, and I gave a lot of it to my friend that I mentioned who just got into sewing, and she's been making some really adorable baby dresses out of it. Yeah, so I've been good. I have not bought or ordered any more yarn. Not that I haven't wanted to. I've just been practicing some self-control. But I did order some needles. But these were necessary because when I wanted to knit the hat, the cardamom and coffee hat, I realized, I guess it's been a while since I knit a hat. And all of my hat knitting or 16-inch circulars were the larger sizes, and I needed a size 3 for this. So I just had to order the Licky short tips, interchangeable needle set with the short tips. So funny story, when I bought my first set, the regular ones, I accidentally grabbed these in the shop, like not even realizing that there were 2 different ones. So I had grabbed the short tips, got in the car, and realized that these were the wrong ones. So went back and exchanged them, and then lo and behold, I end up with these again, which I am not upset about. And I love that they match. I mean, that's just perfect. Yeah, so just as happy with these as I am with the other ones that I've been using. I had some Christmas money left over, so I didn't even feel guilty about it. I went to my husband and I said, I have this $100 bill from Christmas, take it, because I'm buying some needles. So he's like, that's fine. Yeah. So anyway, my last purchase, something small, but also needles. Everyone's been talking about the Knit Pro Zings. I threw away the package, so now I don't even remember the name, but I know you guys will recognize these. Yeah, so I love trying out new needles, and I use size 4 a lot, so I thought it wouldn't hurt to order size 4 and just see how these were, because they are very affordable. Because I've been tempted to order some signature needles, and I was like, I'm not doing that right now. I'm gonna save that for, when my husband needs a gift idea for me. But yeah, I did go ahead and get these, and yeah, I like these. I used them to finish part of my Tecna, and yeah, I had no issues with these. I can't say I love them or hate them. I guess because I've been on the Licca needle kick. But yeah, they were fine. I will definitely probably get some more if I need like duplicates and other sizes. I would have no problem ordering these again. But yeah, not a whole lot to say about them. Maybe I've only used them once, so maybe I should use them some more before I actually say anything else about them. But they were fine. I'm sure you guys have used them. They're very popular. So yeah, that's it for stash enhancements. So for my final segment, I want to show you guys what I've been sewing. So if you watched the last episode, I did something called Dave's Picks, where I let my husband go stash diving in my fabric, and I let him pick something, and the goal was that I would have to sew from that. I lucked out, and he picked a fabric that I really liked and would probably have used pretty soon anyway. But yeah, so I made this dress. It's the Butterick Patterns by Gertie B6453. I did the version with the straight skirt, which I think I was intending to do the full skirt version, but I don't know if you guys do this. Whenever I buy fabric, I don't always have a plan in mind, and I just see something I like, and I'm like, oh, I'll get 3 yards. I should know better by now, because although this dress, if you're planning on making a dress with a straight skirt, you can definitely get by with 3 yards. I do wear dresses, or tend to wear dresses with the fuller skirts more, and those require more fabric. And especially I like the T length. So yeah, you definitely need like 4 or 5 yards to do those dresses with the really full skirts. But I am loving the straight skirt because it requires so little fabric, and it just comes together so quickly. This is like instant gratification for this dress, and it was really cool because it has the adjustable straps. So you use like the like lingerie, what are they called? Like, I don't know, the sliders, and I was really excited to learn a new skill because I've never done anything like that before, and I think it's something that will come in handy. It was really easy to do. The only finicky part was making the thin tube for the strap, but honestly, once you got the hang of it, and I kind of learned a few little tricks to make that go a little easier, because I've done tubes before, but I don't think ever any tubes that were that thin and that long. So, they can be a pain to turn inside out, but I got it done. And I actually made 2 of these dresses. So the first one is out of the fabric that my husband had picked. It's just a really cute cherry print, which is really similar to the one they show on the pattern. Hers is a navy blue background with cherries, and I did a black background with cherries. I'll insert some pictures so you can see the fit and just the whole dress. But yeah, this came together so quickly. I love that It's not lined. It's got a facing, which I love because you use less fabric. You don't have to make darts like the same like you would in a lining. So it's really quick. And I won't go on too much about it because I don't, I don't know if all of you guys sew, but I know knitting is probably the thing that you're mostly here for. But yeah, I'll insert pictures so you can get a better idea of how this pattern came together. This fabric I actually got from Walmart. So when I first realized that Walmart carried fabric, I kind of went crazy. It was so like cheap and it seems like it's good quality, which I feel like it is. I mean, it's just quilting cotton. And it's soft enough, and I've washed it and it's held up, so I don't have anything negative to say about it at this point. I guess we'll see later on down the road, but I think it's going to be fine. And their quilting cotton, a lot of it is, I think like $3.97 a yard, which is crazy. Yeah, so this next fabric is super crazy. You're probably going to wonder, what was I thinking? But little disclaimer. So I was having a not great day and I left work and I was like, you know what? I need something to cheer me up. Oh, I know what it was. Traffic was horrible that day. And I was like, you know what? There's a Joann's on my way home. I'm taking a detour and I'm going to hang out in Joann's until the traffic dies down. So, of course, I know what it was. I went for the lingerie sliders to make the straps for the dress. And so, of course, I wasn't going to leave without some fabric. I had a coupon like you usually do for Joann's. Yeah, so I was like, I just want some fabric that just makes me happy when I look at it. So I picked this. And how could that not make you happy? It is like the brightest, most cheerful, fun fabric I think I have ever seen. And I think for this dress, it was perfect because there's, not too many seams, so you're not breaking up the pattern or anything really. So you can really see the full effect of the cotton candy and the lollipops and all the craziness that's going on here. But yeah, I love it. And again, it was really easy to put together. I got a nice fit, and I'll insert pictures so that you can see this glorious dress on me. Not really sure where I'm gonna wear it, but I think this would be a super appropriate birthday dress. Although my birthday isn't until August, and I'm definitely gonna wear it before then. So I don't know, if you see a bright pink girl walking around, that's probably me. Anyway, so that is it for today. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in a few weeks with a new craft room behind me. And until then, bye.